Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between Argos, Zenith, and Grace WeRRa here on Metalopolis. Here we have Argos Zenith spawning as the yellow Zerg player over here at the 7 o'clock position. Meanwhile, we have Grace WeRRa spawning over here as the blue Terran player over here, what I'll call at the 1 o'clock position. So this is going to be a cross spawn here on Metalopolis. Should be a pretty interesting matchup and very, very fun nonetheless, as Metalopolis is one of my favorite maps to cast, as there's just so many expansions one after the other. Back over here, and Zerg now spawning, Zerg continuing to produce some of those, no, going to do that extractor trick, excuse me, as I'm fighting off a little bit of a cold today, so I'll probably be trying to tone down my volume and tone down my level just a little bit so I can save my voice and to do other things as well. We do see a 10 supply depot now being thrown down, so nothing too out of the ordinary, no mass Reaper play, as we have Argos Zenith moving out with this drone. This drone now going to be doing some early scouting and may be able to come across the map, and I really like Argos Zenith's use of just trying to do some sort of mind game. So you can see that he was trying to do a mind game just in case it was a spawn over here. So he wanted to let the drone come in from this direction. However, it will not work this particular time, as we now see Grace moving out with this SCV. So it will not be able to find his opponent that easily. And now we have Grace WeRRa moving out with that one SCV as well. This Overlord now moving into this position over here. We'll try to escape and try to get into position. Or try not to be seen by this SCV. If the SCV does see that Overlord, does not see that Overlord, as he doesn't look for the creep, and now he may be able to spot this Overlord there, and is it going to be in time? And no, he does not spot the Overlord. So by not spotting that Overlord, he still has to come down over here. He will see this early hatchery though, so that's just a delay of about a couple seconds in terms of finding out where your opponent is. He's going to go ahead and hide behind these or go behind these vents to make sure that there's nothing hidden over there and continue to move out. We do see one SCV coming up the ramp to production as a drone now coming in over here, going to start trying to attack that SCV. And we also have that spawning pool now being laid down, so that we have a later spawning pool just because of that early hatchery down over here on the ground. Back over here, we do see one Marine now, one additional Marine now being trained, upgrading to orbital command. We should be seeing a factory at some point. Not quite sure why he's sitting on so many minerals. He could be trying to go, no, he's going to go for that factory, not going to go for any sort of 16 command center players. That would just be very, very strange, as the Zerg player could easily just macro up very quick. And now in comes an SCV. SCV double he's trying to double block this bunker, trying to double block with bunkers in order to stop any sort of queen play. So that is a very interesting thing I've never seen before, as if you can throw down 2 bunkers here, you cannot transfer any additional transfer the queen over, and then if you just throw in 1 or 2 marauders, they're able to shoot up that ramp very, very easily. So wow. However, not able to get those bunkers down in time, as we now have Marines going after this one particular Overlord here. We do see Zerglings now going to be able to take down this bunker very easily. Is it going to get canceled in time? Yes, it was canceled in time. So now Grace being forced to pull back. Back over here, he is still currently supply locked, now producing this supply depot over here. So seeing an almost 500 minerals, and deciding to throw down a command center to catch up. We do have a tech lab now being thrown down, and we'll see if we're going to see any sort of Reaper play. One SCV getting caught in midfield by those Zerglings, and Zerglings able to take it down. We do have one Overlord over here trying to gain sight. Perhaps we'll be able to sneak into the back of this base and try to see if there's any sort of tech advantage. Grace now throwing down another supply depot on this front door. It doesn't look like Argos would be able to do any sort of baneling bust at this stage in the game, just because he doesn't have a baneling nest, obviously, and he looks to be going more for an economic game as opposed to just trying to barrel rush this front door. Both sides with very, very small armies, 125 versus 150 after that Zergling was taken down. Refinery should be completed in just a moment, and command center lifted off. Taking a look at the harvester count, we see 18 harvesters for Grace. So I'm assuming if I was Grace at this stage, I would not lift off this command center and place it down here yet, as it would just overexpose you. Just train up some SCVs, try to saturate your main, as you are nowhere near saturation. 24 is when you start to get diminishing returns from your minerals, and if you include the 6 back over here. So yeah, 24 is when you start to get diminishing returns on your SCVs as you continue to mine. Over here we do have a spine crawler and a roach warren being thrown down in order to prevent any sort of a run by with hellions. Hellions will have to run around this long way, and one spine crawler in this position will be able to take down and pick off some of those units as well. Back over here, upgrading to an orbital command. Grace, we're announcing at 22 over 20 or 22 harvesters. He may decide to lift it off anyways, or is he continuing to train up more and more SCVs? Not 100% sure. And he is not lowering that supply depot just quite yet. Now throwing down additional barracks over here and not training SCVs. Not quite sure why. He could be training more and more SCVs and try to catch up economically. He is behind 23 to 35. Argos now upgrading to tier 2 at his natural expansion instead of his main base, as the natural expansion is a little bit more exposed, and he wants the additional hit points on this hatchery over here. Also, when you do a scanner sweep, the Terran player doesn't know to scan here or scan here, and what happens is the Terran player doesn't know if you can go for that tier 2 tech with Hydralisk and Mutalis. We do see an evolution chamber now being brought into play as these Hellions now move out. Hellions are going to be moving out. The spine crawler, evolution chamber will be there, and now the spine crawler back over here. So no real way to move out of this position. These queens and roaches right here. Roaches now trying to sliver by, and they will be able to move out. Are we going to get the weapon or the movement upgrade for those roaches, as those roaches now may be able to take down some of these Hellions? Back over here, we finally have the command center now lifting off and going to be landing over here at the natural expansion. Roaches trying to chase down those Hellions. Hellions are not a good counter towards those roaches, as those roaches are not light units. Back over here, we do have some Zerglings and another Zergling over here. One Overlord getting shot down by Marines, or sorry, Overseer, and that Overseer is going to be a very, very heavy loss of 150 minerals and 100 gas, as it costs additional. He is able to move away from there, so that Overseer has a movement speed of 2.75 as opposed to an Overlord's 1.88, and him just like typing there. So yeah, that was kind of funny as well. Back over here, we do see some Zerglings sitting over here, and I think the movement speed research just completed at that moment. Back over here, we do see another hatchery being thrown down by Argos. Argos with the hatchery on this high ground will be up on 3 bases compared to 2, as Hellions now move out once again. Argos Zenith staying on top of his creep tumor distribution, trying to spread them out as quickly as possible and get a lot of sight. You can see Argos Zenith essentially has sight across the whole entire map. So much scouting. Grace does not. He is just pretty much confined to his base, and Zergling's now going to do a quick run by into the base here and perhaps get some kills on these SCVs, and now taking down one SCV there and continuing the fight. Back over here, we do see the SCVs finally trying to pull away, and Marine's going to be able to finish off the rest of those Zerglings there. Back over here, we have some Hellions still giving sight to this Zelnaga watchtower, as this hatchery is in this position over here. Production wise, we are now getting that Baneling nest, and we are getting another hatchery. I do not see any Hydralisk den or any. Oh, there is that spire, so we may see some Mutalis in just a moment, and he's going to hit critical mass on Mutalis. Yeah, 9 Mutalis all of a sudden. So those 9 Mutalis will be able to take down those Hellions very, very easily, as those roaches able to just pinch against these Hellions on this ramp here. These units are unable to back out from this position, and 2 roaches will take down 4 Hellions without a problem. Wow, nicely done. That level 1 armor upgrade even more increasing the damage, or the damage that can take against those Hellions, decreasing it from 7 to 6. So yeah, that's the reason why the damage was so slow, especially at 2.5 attacks per, or attack speed of 2.5. Mutalis now moving out. There are some well-placed missile turrets and reactors on these barracks, so those Marines should be able to shoot those Mutalis out of the sky. There are a group of Mutalis here. Are they going to go after that missile turret? No, now going after that missile turret. Missile turret will get taken down. Down it goes, and now going after some of those SCVs. Marines now coming in. Marines going to be able to just stim in and take down some of these buildings, or some of those Mutalis. However, the starport is not yet completed, so really needs that starport for those medevacs, as those Mutalis continue to harass, now trying to take down those reactors. Reactors are very, very expensive and take a long time to build, so that's a very, very key building to take down. Another missile turret here, trying to go after that one siege tank. However, another missile turret starting to fire, and now may lose another Mutalis, now down to only 7 Mutalis out of the original 10 that he had, so losing a good number of Mutalis. And this missile turret placement just too critical and too perfect for Argos to really be able to do anything at this stage in the game. However, Argos does have a significant economic advantage, as he has sitting on 68 harvesters compared to 42, 1,200 minerals, One Mutalisk may get shot down. No, Marines unable to get underneath it there. So a group of Mutalisks here and here as well. So we have 6 Mutalisks left. Overlord still positioned all across the map to give Argos Zenith just dominant map control at this point in the game. We do have that Baneling Nest. Centrifugal hooks have been completed, and we are also getting the burrow research. We are also getting we are only getting the movement speed upgrade for those roaches, not the not the underground tunneling claws. Back over here, we'd have another hatchery being thrown down. So WeRRa running off of 2 bases compared to Argos Zenith is 4, and Argos just doing a great job macroing up very quickly. Over here, these Mutalisks are just going to continue to try to do some harassment. They need a backup over here, try to get away from that range of 6 Marine bunker, and now take down this refinery. The refinery causing some splash damage across some of those SCVs, and down goes 1 refinery, and I believe 1 or 2 of those SCVs as well. Another missile turret being brought into play, 25 units a time. However, we are going to have a fake drop. So here we're going to have a fake drop trying to press in, and not 100% sure what Argos Zenith is doing with this fake drop. Perhaps trying to pull away some of those Marines. Is it going to work? No, he's going to pull back, and now I guess he was just trying to get sight into that base. Marines now trying to make their way up, and I think that pressuring and timing would have been absolutely perfect to try to hit over here. He did clear out some of those bunkers, and now moving into this position. No, he ran straight into the army of WeRRa, and that is just a horrible consequence, as a 2,800 mineral army is able to destroy so many of those units there. However, we do see some Zerglings, and we are also getting a Nydus network. So Argos Zenith, very unpopular for his Nydus network play. However, so many missile turrets now being positioned all across the map. I don't think a Nydus network can be dropped into this base very easily at all. Back over here, we do see that one Overlord may be able to drop a Nydus network into here, and then start spawning those Zerglings. And will it work is the question. That Overlord trying to figure out where it can perhaps put it in that Nydus network, and also getting the Greater Spire. So we are now at tier 3. I do not see any Corruptors just quite yet, so that means that there's not going to be any Broodlords. But I wouldn't put it beyond Argos to throw down some oh my goodness, some Broodlords as well. Back over here, we have a large Marine Marauder, Thor, and Siege Tank armies, so this is going to be fairly difficult to deal with. There's not enough Mutalisks, not enough Banelings to really fight this back, and now we do have the Worm coming up somewhere. So taking a look, where is that Worm coming in? Worm is now coming in over here. So Argos Zenith coming in with that Worm will be able to transport all these units. Where is this Nydus network? From here to over here in just a moment. I can assume that Grace is desperately looking for that Nydus network now, and now, gonna lose 2 Mutalisks very needlessly once again. And now in comes another Nydus network here. Missile turret shooting down that one, and now Marines quickly coming off the line to try to take down this one Nydus Worm. That Nydus Worm has been taken down. There is nothing in that Nydus network at this stage in the game. However, there are some Mutalisks going after this command center. Command center being denied by the Overlord creep here. And now we do see some Marines and Thors once again gonna go ahead and re-engage on top of these units, and now taking down one of those. I believe there was a missile turret there. Back over here, these units now pulling back. We are getting the level 3 Carapace upgrades and another hatchery over here. So Argos Zenith now going to be running off of almost 4.5 bases in just a moment, as this is now starting to clear out. Greater Spire still does not have any sort of weapons upgrade, as there's just a group of Overlords just standing over here waiting to do something. Back over here, we see an upgrade to a Planetary Fortress. The Planetary Fortress able to hold off a large number of Zerglings with that additional 2 armor and that 40 attack with slight splash. Back over here, continuing to mine back and forth. The main base nearly mined out. At this stage in the game, I'd say stay tuned for part 2 of this replay between Argos Zenith and WeRRa here on the Metalopolis.